lungs are breathing slow. There's a mother calling softly for the child she came to know. We took her milk, we took her baby, called it custom, called it need. But the earth remembers every bond we break to feed our greed. Bring the calves back to their mothers, bring the milk back to the young. Let no baby be taken before their life's begun. Bring them home.
I'm Ray Kowalczyk. I'm with the with Climate Healers, but I've had the opportunity and privilege to work on a feature documentary, The Land of Ahimsa, with Dolly Vyas-Ahuja and Ahuja, they're both the producers of the film. And they had been working on it for a few years before I became involved in the post-production process. And we started as strangers, but by the end, which I think the post-production process took like a year, we were calling each other bro and sis. So
That's right.
It wasn't how we were put in the credits, but it was a long process and a very intensive process, entirely done through the internet. I still haven't met Dolly in real life. It seems strange to think that's the case. But she's met Kelly because Kelly came to Houston last year.
Right. That's right.
So it's been a labor of love that I managed to be there at least at the end part of it. And the interview started years earlier. And at one point I counted all the interviews. There's over 50 interviews in the documentary. So that's a ton of work and a lot of people that have been involved in the process. We had a session yesterday where we had Maggie Stensholt, who's the illustrator for the various sections of the documentary, completing the style set initially by the animators. We're in Los Angeles. Maggie's in Norway. I'm in Toronto. Dolly is in Houston. Sailesh Rao is one of the executive producers, and he's in Phoenix. And the sound engineer in Los Angeles, and the animators in sound engineer was in San Francisco, and of course the director and crew in India. So it's a very international affair, and it has won many awards. It did the festival circuit and earned many laurels at various festivals, including Best Pictures, and even got a nomination for Best Editor. I was pretty excited about that. So as you set up to give your presentation, I'll show a scene from later in the film that fits really well with the theme of this conference, and we'll connect back with you in a few minutes. It's about 7 minutes long. Unless actually, Dolly, it sounds like Mayur is setting things up. Did you want to talk a little bit about the film?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so the Land of Ahimsa, of course, is about my overnight transformation to veganism. I go back to my motherland of India. It's about how animal agriculture is responsible about how we're treating the animals. And it's about our planet. It's about our health. We got to interview some amazing people, like Ray said, like activists and athletes and vegan entrepreneurs and sanctuaries and the most amazing people I've met in America and in India. And yeah, please do take a look at this little clip that Ray has.
When India drops dairy, India will become the dominant world power, because whichever culture, whichever society, whichever economy goes truly plant-based will dominate the world, because that's exactly what needs to happen for the planet to survive. And India is already halfway there, because India shuns meat in general, historically, traditionally. So if they just kick the dairy, India will emerge as the leading world power.
India in particular is in this very unique situation. India is one of the largest economies in the world. I think it's fourth or fifth economy in the world. It has one of the world's largest populations as well. So what Indians decide to do will shape the whole world. People follow what India does. It's a spiritual center of the whole world. So I think Indians realizing the power that they have, the potential that they have, and the responsibility they have is a really powerful, amazing thing. And so I'm really excited for the whole world, because I see India waking up to this information. I see that more than any other culture in the world, India is primed to hear this message because of this deep history with Ahimsa, with nonviolence, with the Sacred Mother, with the veneration for the beauty and innocence of other animals. So I'm really excited for the future and what's to come. Throughout human history and politics, we kind of see this pendulum swing. We go from ice age to warm spells. We see if the government goes far right, it swings to far left. And I see India doing the same thing with diet. A historically vegetarian society has swung towards eating more meat in the last 50 years. But I see it's going to swing the other way. It's going to bypass vegetarianism. It's going to go full vegan. That's the exciting thing. If we can keep that pendulum swinging towards compassion. I think that, again, you have a history and a foundation of ahimsa, of nonviolence, of doing no harm. That's perfect. That's veganism.
If we just eliminated the animal products, we could live in a world of abundance. We could reforest the earth. We could then sequester the carbon. We could then combat climate change. We could also feed starving children. We could really have a land of peace, a land of ahimsa. We just need to make this one simple change, and we can do it.
So in fact, I call this transformation that's happening, the transformation going from a Homo sapiens to Homo Ahimsa. Because Homo sapiens is the name that we have given ourselves, which is actually kind of arrogant because we call ourselves sapiens, which means wise. You will never see a wise person going around saying, I'm wise. Wisdom always comes with humility. So as a species, the Homo sapiens name has to go if we have to survive. You'll be known as Homo Ahimsa.
Ahimsa, the most meaningful word ever written. And this word originated from our country, our motherland of India. This word means non-violence to all living beings in everything we think, say, and do.
The real ahimsa starts at our tongue. That starts from there. Once the train starts from the tongue, the demand for these products is there. Then to say the government should ban Go Hatya, this is not the answer. Once the train heads out from the tongue, you cannot stop it.
Ahimsa, non-violence to any living being. It is a beautiful word, not because it describes our nationality, our politics, our religion, our diet, or our lifestyle, but because it describes our character.
Ahimsa is a core philosophy of Hinduism.
The word ahimsa, it started in India.
Another word for ahimsa is caring, kindness, love, mercy, protectiveness.
Any life form, humans and non-human, not to kill them, not to harm them, not to oppress them, not to enslave them, not to slaughter them.
Ahimsa is actually a language of every heart.
Ahimsa is core spirituality and therefore authentic veganism.
This should be the first country to go vegan, because I felt like everybody I met had ahimsa sewn in their genes. Everybody I met was kind. Everybody I met was sweet. They say it with each other. You could see the young men being nice to each other. Like, there wasn't the attitude a lot of times you see in the United States.
Without ahimsa, we are predators. Brutish, boorish bullies.
The land of Ahimsa, in my world, is a land where all beings are free.
The way to get back to ahimsa is to stop doing harm to animals.
Our land is a land of nonviolence, land of Buddha, land of Gandhi. We stressed that, we don't want to harm anyone. So why do we want to eat a diet that harms us, harms the animals, harms the environment, harms her family members?
Animal use is animal abuse.
Violence we must stop.
Ahimsa is the act of compassion and kindness, not just non-violence. So when you stop at non-violence, it doesn't make you compassionate and kind. In Hindi, we have a beautiful word, karuna, being able to feel anguish when someone else feels anguish.
Each and every individual in this world has the opportunity to vote 3 times a day by what they put in their mouth.
This is the way where we all live together with love and harmony with all beings on this planet.
And we are a country who has a great culture. We have our values. And if we show ahimsa towards animals, towards our fellow human beings, towards our environment, we can make this world a beautiful place to live in.
We are now transitioning from a predator species to a caretaker species.
It is time for India to reclaim her spiritual land of Ahimsa, that beautiful place where all living beings meet in compassion.
In every country and joining together, it's like Game of Thrones. We all have to come together. We all have to drop these illusory differences and come together to fight the greatest fight, and to be true warriors of the heart. Yeah, I really believe in India, and I love the Indians, and I know that we can do this.
India has religiosity in its soil. You cannot talk to the Indian people in a language of ideology. Indians won't listen to ideology, but Indians will listen to the language of love, compassion, spirituality.
Just go back to our roots, and that's how we can make India a land of ahimsa again.
Hi, everybody. It's an honor to speak today at V-COP25, honoring the calf and cow Mother's Day. Now, on Mother's Day, what do we think about the most? Our mothers, right? Our grandmothers, our aunts, our sisters. But I am here today to talk about the most oppressed, the most forgotten mother of them all, Mother Cow. Now, did you know cows' emotions are closest to human beings because they have a powerful relationship with their babies. They have a maternal bond and are very attentive and protective of their babies. The mother-child bond continues after weaning, and mother and their children remain close for life. Cows are very loving and welcome interactions with kind people. Even cows that have been abused and mistreated in the past can heal over time, forgive, and learn to trust people again. So Moya, where is my picture in the presentation? Can you see my face as I'm talking?
Yes.
Okay, good. So today I want to talk about why dairy is not ahimsa. For the people who don't know what ahimsa means, but by now it's I'm sure everybody knows, but it means non-violence in everything we think, say, and do, not just to human beings, but all beings. So number one, there's forced pregnancies, which I'm going to talk to you about in a minute. Number two, the male calf can be killed for veal. And in India, where I come from, many times the farmer will put the male cow on the street, the male calf. They're hungry, they're eating plastic, they might get run over by a car. Other times we're using them for soft leather. They will also kill that baby calf and stuff it and put it next to the mother so she will produce milk. And of course, we might be using them for their flesh. Number three, the female cows will be slaughtered at the tender age of 5 or 6. That means we're getting these cows pregnant at a very young age. It's like babies are having babies. Now, a dairy cow can live up to 20 to 25 years. A dairy cow carries her baby for 9 months, just like us. Cows only produce milk after giving birth to a baby. This is called lactation milk, just like our breast milk. So just like us. She only produces milk for the sole purpose of feeding and nourishing her young, just like us. They want to bond with their baby immediately, just like us. Now, cows don't just make milk like most people think. You know, what's behind this white glory when we go to the grocery store and we buy a gallon of milk or we buy ice cream or cheese? We really don't think about all the cruelty that went behind it. And the greatest injustice is many times the baby calf will not get a drop of her mother's milk because us humans want it. Now, first, the cow is artificially inseminated with a device called a rape rack. That's right. This is the medical term the dairy industry uses to inseminate a cow. The cow is restrained and semen is inserted through a crude procedure that involves a farmer inserting one arm up into the elbow through the cow's rectum in her private area into the uterus without any painkillers. Now, if this was done to a human, we would call it rape. But because it's done to a cow, it's called artificial insemination. This is injustice, violation, domination, oppression, and it is morally unacceptable. Now, to do the artificial insemination, we need semen. And this is also a demeaning and a violent act. We use a device called an electroejaculator to collect the semen. And when the bull can no longer produce semen, the bull will go to slaughter. So just imagine the male bull is being raped, mother cow is being raped, all because we want milk. Now, on dairy farms, baby cows are torn away from their mother immediately or within hours of birth, just so humans can drink the milk that nature intended for her calf. So let me give you an example. Let's say we just had our baby at the hospital and someone comes in there and snatches that baby, even before the doctor could bring the baby to our chest and hear our heartbeat for the first time. And imagine if this happened to you over and over again. A dairy cow will lose her baby approximately 4 to 7 times, which causes an extreme distress and anxiety, and it takes an enormous emotional toll on the mother. Now, I know all of you have probably seen videos where the mother just has a baby and a worker comes in there with the wheelbarrow and takes the baby away. And the mother is just so heartbroken. She doesn't know what's going on. Why did you take my baby? Why is this happening to me? The baby's cold. The baby's confused. It's so hard to watch. Or, you know, when we see the baby put into a truck in a crate and mother cows were running behind that car and she's running until she can't run anymore. And it's so devastating to watch. I mean, if this happened to us, we'd be suicidal. A mother cow will bellow for months for her baby. It's the most excruciating sound you'll ever hear. And, you know, Renee King-Sonnen knows exactly what those sounds are like. Male calves will be sold for veal. And without the dairy industry, the veal industry would not exist. Females will endure the same life cycle as slavery as their mothers. Now, as a mother and a female, we can empathize what the mother cow must be going through. And today, with all the mothers and females that are watching, we can understand. Women are fundamental to life. Mother Earth is the female, the feminine, the divine. And without her, we don't have seed. Females carry life. And without her, there is no life. The dairy industry is at the core of the deepest betrayal of motherhood and the female body. And I'll tell you why. We're using her for this one reason. for her reproductive cycle. And because she's a female, we're exploiting her. But mother cow is not a milking machine. She's a sentient being. Let all mothers nurture their young without fear, slaughter, or mistreatment. It's time to take a stand against cruelty to female species and all species. And I love this quote by Dr. Will Tuttle. How could it ever be our purpose to rob another living being of his or her purpose? Oh, it's such beautifully said. And now I'm going to share with you, I have to get off of this in 1 second. I'd like to share a musical that I saw on BBC where a woman in London dresses up as a cow and she sings this beautiful opera song through the cow's perspective. So of course I'm not going to sing it, but I'd like to say it. But I need to get off my presentation so I can show you this poster board. Please bear with me. Okay, here we go. All right, everybody. So this is Mother Cow Daisy. Isn't she so beautiful? But you can see there's a sadness in her eyes. So through Mother Cow Daisy, I held my young for 9 months, just like you, with hours of labor. So excited to see my little boy, my little boy. All I wanted to do is lick him clean and help him stand up. Where have you taken my baby? Where is my baby? He needs his mother too. You must see the pain in my eyes. Tell me he's still alive. Stop making me pregnant. Why molest the milk? Why molest me for the milk that you don't need? Stop making me pregnant. Why strap tubes to my udders that my baby needs? I'm not a machine. I'm a mother. My udders, they bleed. It's my blood in your milk, my pus in your milk, because it's not your milk. It's my baby's milk. What kind of animal rapes for milk? Oh no, here comes that bad worker man. He's going to molest me all over again. Let me die. Please, just let me die. Okay. All right. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
And your
so I know that
presentation.
that was really, really difficult to listen to. When I first heard it, I had goosebumps. I was crying. But we have to see it through the eyes of the victim. That is the only way we're going to understand what they're going through. And Anthony Williams said, if animals can speak, mankind would weep. And as Gary Francione would say, if animals are sentient and feel pleasure and pain, that means they are aware. And if they are aware, it means they morally matter. So we have a moral obligation not to use them, not to abuse them, not to use them as commodities. This would be morally wrong. So animal exploitation must be abolished. So what do we want? Animal liberation. When do we want it? Now.
Now.
Okay, that's right. Thank you. I'm going to be using the words of Dr. Tushar Mehta. A lot of you guys might have met him at V-COP. And he has a YouTube video called The Dairy Production and the Cow Slaughter in India. Please do take a look at it if you get a chance. And he says, man is the only animal that drinks milk of another animal. We are the only species who do that. Giraffe drink their own milk. Elephants drink their own milk. Human beings, babies drink their own milk. Cats drink their own milk. If it was normal to drink cow's milk, we wouldn't have to tie them up. You see in this picture, they tie her up. They even tie her tail because naturally she will want to kick. The only person she wants at her udders is her baby. Just like when we're nursing, the only body we need is our baby. This is like a violation. If it was normal to drink cow's milk, we would just go to Mother Cow and she would give it to us. But that's not happening. And that's not nature. Remember, water always falls down the hill. Nature never lies. We tie them up and we take their milk. We steal it from them. They don't give it willingly. Now, if it was normal to drink cow's milk, a baby born right now today could start drinking cow's milk. But what would happen? The baby might get very sick or maybe even die because the fats and protein in cow's milk can create an imbalance in that baby. The only milk that baby can have is her mother's milk, human's milk. And this is why pediatricians will tell you, do not start cow's milk till after a year. But with the research we have today with Dr. Neil Bernard and PCRM and so many lifestyle medicine doctors, vegan doctors, we have our very own here in Houston, Dr. Roxanne George. I'm praying that no pediatrician will be recommending any cow's milk to any child, any baby, or anyone. So what is the solution? Well, we have alternative plant-based dairy. We have almond milk, soy milk, cashew milk, coconut milk, rice milk, flax milk, walnut milk. I can go on and on. And I meant to say plant-based milk. I'm sorry. So there's over 200 distinct plant-based milks available in the U.S. And of course, our cheeses are getting better and better. Miyako's cheese, Chow, Vitalife, Rebel cheese, if you haven't tried it, is so good. So a lot of my fellow Indians who are pure vegetarians or any pure vegetarian, they worry if they're not going to have milk, where will we get our protein from? But look at some of these largest, strongest animals. Look at the gorilla, the ox, the ram, the elephant. And guess what? They're not just vegetarian, they're vegan. They only had their mother's milk. The strongest man in the world, Patrick Baboumian, vegan. Tennis star, Venus Williams, vegan. Ironman champion, David Scott, vegan. And they all have a lot of strength, stamina, and endurance. And none of them are having a protein deficiency problem. And us vegans love to say, it's not where's your protein, it's where's your fiber, right? And remember, we're not just living for the taste of cow's milk. Billions of animals have to suffer. And we're humans. We have a higher consciousness for compassion. Dr. Tushar Mehta. Listen to your heart, not your habit. Now we have vegan ice cream, vegan butter, sour cream, cream cheese, salad dressing, Cool Whip, yogurt, much, much more. And I love to teach my fellow, vegetarian Indians that we can make our Indian dishes like kadhi and dokla and chai. That's a big one, for Indian people. Daimara, desserts, so much more. And of course, we can make all our American favorite dishes, pizza, mac and cheese, enchiladas, Alfredo, burgers, all by using plant-based products. There's just no excuse. Now I would like to talk a little bit about our health. So Dr. T. Campbell says cow's milk has 20 times more casein than human's milk, which makes the protein impossible for humans to process it or digest it. And when protein can't be broken down properly, it weakens the immune system, causing allergies, chronic inflammation, and cholesterol. Now, cow's milk is meant to turn a 65-pound cow into a 15-pound calf into a 65-pound calf into a 1,500-pound cow very rapidly, very fast. And this is why we have an epidemic of obesity in this world. And Dr. Michael Clapper states, cow's milk is baby calf growth liquid. Everything in there, the hormones, the lipids, the sodium, the proteins, the growth factors are all for a baby calf. It is lactation milk of a large bovine cow who just had a baby. Now, mother's human milk has linoleic acid. Cows do not. We don't need such massive skeletal growth. or large muscles like the calf. Humans' mother's milk gives the appropriate nutrients dedicated to building our brains, our spinal cord, and our nerves. Now we need this for about a year, and then we no longer need our mother's milk. So why are we drinking cow's milk as adults? It's like ding, ding, ding. Even mother cow will teach her baby to start eating grass around 6 to 8 months. And, it's like a light bulb went off when I did all this research, and I'm thinking, my God, I drank milk all my life because I thought it was good for me. But now I've come to realize I'm not a baby calf, and I don't need to be drinking baby calf growth liquid. Now, the dairy industry allows blood and mucus in milk. Remember, they're getting a lot of mastitis because they're hooked onto these metal tubes all day long for hours and hours. Now, you can see in this picture how diseased this cow is, how much infection, how much inflammation, how engorged and diseased she is. Many times these cows are on concrete floor for hours and hours. They don't see sunshine or get to eat grass. They live in their own urine and feces. They're giving a cocktail of drugs. When they get dehorned, they're not getting painkillers, so there's infection there. Their tails get docked. So they're very, very sick. And a lot of times these farmers are injecting them with antibiotics with the same needle from cow to cow to cow. And many times they end up getting bovine leukemia, bovine lymphoma, and sometimes even bovine immunodeficiency disorder. Now, remember, when we're getting cow's milk at the store, you're not just getting one cow's milk. You're getting hundreds and thousands of cow's milk put together. Now, there's estrogen and progesterone in milk, and so many young girls are getting their menstruation way too early. Remember all that estrogen. Men are getting, Men are getting man boobs and enlarged prostate, leading to prostate cancer. Now, there's BGH in cow's milk, which is the bovine hormone to increase milk production. BGH also increases blood levels of the insulin growth factor, IGF-1, which is linked to several cancers. So let's stop and pause and think about this for a moment. Cows get antibiotics. We get antibiotics. We take enough of it, we're going to create a resistance. Cows have tumors and cancers. We have cancer. Cows have anxiety and stress. We have stress and anxiety. A lot of us have insomnia. We can't even sleep at night. They're taking drugs to make them sleep. More and more people are getting clinically diagnosed with depression. Cows get a disease called yonis, okay? Remember, they're always in that sympathetic response, that flight or fright response. They're in fear. They have anxiety mixed up with all these drugs. So they get a disease called yonis, where there's this persistent diarrhea. In humans, it's called Crohn's disease or IBS. Cows get osteoporosis. We have osteoporosis. Cows get pus. We get acne. Cows have mucus. We get allergies, asthma. What's going on here? It's a boomerang effect. Whatever we're doing to them is happening to us. Now, food is energy, and food is information at a quantum level. And remember, energy never dies. It only gets transferred. So at the time when the cow is going to be slaughtered, there's so much fear, there's so much anxiety, there's so much pain, and all this gets absorbed into our DNA. So food carries a karma. And a lot of vegans will tell you they're just living a calmer lifestyle. And a lot of vegans will tell you that we're feeling a mental balance, we're feeling a emotional balance, a spiritual balance, and a physical balance. Now, the dairy industry is $1 billion industry, and they have their own team of doctors and scientists that will tell you different, says Dr. John McDougall. Now, we drink milk for calcium, right? A lot of people, if you ask them, what is calcium? They won't even know. Well, calcium is a mineral that comes from the ground, just like magnesium, copper, or zinc. And what's happening is the cows are eating the roots from the plants and getting the calcium that way. But nowadays, many times these cows are eating like GMO corn or GMO grain, many times mixed with fish pellets. They're not even supposed to be eating this stuff. They actually have to be injected with calcium. They have a severe osteoporosis. We have depleted, we've taken so much milk out of them, which depletes them of all their calcium. So the best thing is to skip the animal and go straight to the source with all these beautiful plant foods like broccoli, bok choy, kale, cabbage, chia seeds, and much more. And the dairy industry tries to use reductionism on us. They try to reduce our intelligence, but no more. Doctors are waking up. The public is waking up, and dairy sales have been down. I read an article in 2026, plant-based dairy is accelerating its takeover in the milk market. I mean, next time you go to your grocery store, you'll see there's like dairy products, and then the rest of the aisle is like these beautiful almond milk and oat milk and so many hazelnut milk, so many options we have today. Now I would like to talk a little bit about our Mother Earth. Every 10 seconds, the Amazon forest is being broken down for animal agriculture. These trees are our lungs in this world. The rivers are circulation. The air, our breath, and the earth, our body. Animal agriculture makes up 40% greater contribution to global warming than all the transportation in the world combined. Cattle and cow in particular produce a significant amount of methane annually. For example, a single dairy cow can produce an average of 75 kilos of methane annually. A dairy cow can eat up to 50 pounds of grain a day and drink 50 to 100 liters of water a day. The land is sinking, and now we're getting water from our aquifers like California that took years to build. And also this methane stays in the air for about 11 years, you know. It's 86 times more powerful than CO2. And this is why we have global warming and major droughts around the world. I know everybody has seen Cowspiracy, excellent film. I really encourage that we, make our students watch it, our high school students, our college students, and even younger than that. It's so important for them to secure their future generations. And remember, the earth is not just a piece of dirt. Mother Earth is alive, and she keeps us alive. It is not just about the Bill of Rights, but it's about the Bill of Responsibility to our Mother Earth, to our planet, because we only got one. So by going vegan, a person can save 400,000 gallons of water, 15,000 pounds of grain, 7,000 pounds of CO2, 365 animal lives, 11,000 square foot forest, all in 1 year by switching to a vegan diet. So everybody needs to give themselves a big hand, because we're doing something great for the planet. So the time for killing animals has passed. It's just not about animal rights, but it's about human wrongs. Philip Wallen. Ahimsa, the most beautiful word written 5,000 years ago by the Upanishads. Non-violence in what we say and think and do. We all oppose violence, but doing nothing is no longer an option. And wise words from Gary Yovalsky, peace, and he says, peace begins on our plate and what we put in our mouth. Good people just don't talk about kindness, they practice it. And remember, when you know better, you can do better. And in the words of Philip Wallen, and he says, we are no longer voiceless, we are no longer powerless, we are no longer spineless. Let's together stand up for justice whenever, wherever, and to whomever it is denied. It is time for every educated, enlightened citizen to get off the meat and dairy drug. They have had their day, and their time has passed. We can no longer relive history, but let's be in the making of new history. We can no longer use our religious traditions to cause so much harm and suffering. We cannot use God's creatures in God's name anymore. We have to do the greater good. So we need to create a new divine imprint for ahimsa, for compassion, for our Mother Earth. And whenever one person stands up and says, wait a minute, this is wrong. And what I mean by this is it's wrong to forcibly get a mother cow pregnant over and over again, steal her baby, steal her milk, cause her all this harm and suffering. This is what I mean. It's so wrong. So when one person stands up and says, this is wrong, it helps others do the same. Gloria Steinem. And once we live a vegan lifestyle, we're aligning our values with our actions. I want to use a quote by Dr. Stephen Farmer from his book called Earth Magic. And he says, the creator and creation is one. Let me say that again. The creator and creation is one. The creator merges with creation at the moment of pure awareness. So when you see that cow, that mom, that baby you see God, and God is asking for mercy. The choices we make today change our tomorrow. And with the vegan lifestyle, we give up nothing. We just stop taking which was never ours. And last, God lives in the voiceless. And of course, I encourage everybody to watch our film, The Land of Ahimsa, on Plant-Based News on the YouTube channel. And India is considered the land of Ahimsa, but we've gotten so far away from this word. We need to return to the land of Ahimsa. We need to return to peace, harmony, nonviolence, salvation, equality, and freedom. And Dr. Rao told me, in a nonviolent world, not only India, but in a nonviolent world, the entire planet will be known as the land of Ahimsa. Thank you.
I'm adding the sound effects to all the emojis that are going.
Oh gosh, everybody, I love you. I couldn't see any of that. I love you all. Thank you so much. And thank you. I want to give a shout out to Ray. I mean, Ray and I have sat, I have, my butt is so sore. Me and Ray would work for hours and hours on this film. So thank you, Ray, Dr. Rao, Jane Velez Mitchell. There's just so many people to thank. Thank you, everyone.
That clip that I showed was a good one because it really had a hit parade of all the people that are involved in the documentary, and it had Philip Wallen in there.
Yes.
Yes, and Mayer was in there.
Yeah, Moyer was in there. That was awesome, Ray. And I hadn't seen that for a while. So that was really, it felt good to see that again. It was beautiful. Beautifully done, Ray. Thank you.
Well, thank you for that contribution. And it's very helpful as yet another vegan documentary, and it covers a lot of the stuff that a lot of vegans are familiar with, but it's bringing it to India as a framework for Indians. But it's also, I think, breaking the idea that the vegan movement is somehow based in the United States or based in the UK. And we are familiar with the demographics and we're familiar with the tactics that are happening in those countries. But India has got such a huge head start. And that was an important takeaway from that documentary.
Yes.
It is a spiritual place and a place where the wisdom can come to the rest of the world. No matter how much we're trucking with the facts and figures, and your presentation was great with facts and figures, but you also have the emotion. You have the idea that we're going to get there with love. That's right.
Vegan world. That's right. And it's so special because we're doing the Mother's Day. That's why I was so honored, because I speak through Mother Cow as a mother, as a female. Yeah.
And now it's time for questions. If there's people that can put their hand up. I see Daniel has his hand up.
Here, how do I do it? Yes. Hi, Daniel.
Hello. Yeah, so I just wanted to make a suggestion. It's kind of a joke, but
sure.
You know how Staples, they make a button where you press it and you know what it says, right?
The easy button.
So they should make a new one. You would press it and it would say, "That was awesome."
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. So I enjoyed listening.
I thought you were going to say going vegan is easy.
Yeah. Oh no. Sure. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's true. Yeah. Yeah. Going vegan was easy. That's true. And going vegan is easy. But yeah, it's just good to hear that again. Like you know these things, but then you hear it, and I feel like, okay, so what I just heard. So that was a video you can find on YouTube.
You mean my what I just talked about?
Yeah, or were you reading something?
No, I have notes that I
Yeah,
write
okay.
down.
Okay, that was good. It was just good stuff. Like,
oh yeah, this presentation is on YouTube. I think I spoke this presentation at a Jain temple in you can look it up that way on YouTube.
Yeah.
At a Jain temple.
Yeah, this morning, I actually shared that one video we saw last night. It was kind of like, it was probably geared to the Hindus of India, but I shared it on my Facebook, and I said, hey, Christians, we need to smarten up and have a better attitude, because we had this lousy attitude. I said, look, in India, half of their restaurants are veg. Half. Now, half are non-veg, but half are veg. We don't have that here. We're too busy quoting Genesis 9:3. And I said, if that's going to be a carnage stumbling block for you, get your pen out and cross it out. I did. I got sick and tired of that.
Yeah.
And Genesis 1:29 trumps Genesis 9:3. It just does. It comes first. If that's where it's all very good. Genesis 9:3 is not where it's very good. He's saying his imaginations are wrong from the get-go. I don't like to say the word evil, but that is not the ideal situation. That's where he's anticipating they're going to make him mad and make him want to flood them all again. But the bottom line is, I really enjoyed listening to that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
And Genesis 1:29 is in the Garden of Eden. That's God's plan.
Is.
That's paradise. That's his plan.
That's where he says, now I say Olin, because I've changed the name God to Olin, because I've done it, and I mean it, and I'm not joking. Olin saw all that he had made, and behold, it was very good. So that's my move. I know it makes a lot of my family even uncomfortable, but I don't think we should be comfortable. So I don't mind people being uncomfortable. So anyway, thanks.
Yeah.
Any other questions from the audience? Your presentation ended with an invitation to watch the documentary. Maybe we should talk about where it's available.
Yeah, so it's on PlantBased News. You just type in the Land of Ahimsa.
Unchained.
On Unchained TV.
Yeah. And YouTube.
Yeah. Well, PlantBased News, YouTube, yeah. And Unchained TV. That's
Unchained
right.
TV lets you watch it on your smart TV or on your phone, and you log in and get free content. I mean, that's hard to beat.
Yeah. Yep.
As you mentioned, Jane's one of the executive producers.
That's right. And she's in the film too. So thank you very much, Jane. Renee Kingsonen, my hero's also in it. Yep. So many people I got to meet. Like I was praying at my tree that I would meet Dr. Will Tuttle, and I met him. And he's in the film too. There's so many people like that. It's been a beautiful journey.
Where did you meet him?
He was at Loving Hut. The day I told my tree I'd like to meet him, when I came home, I found out he's speaking at the Loving Hut in Houston. So I'm
Okay.
like, we gotta go, we gotta go. And I ended up sitting, it was so crowded. When I put my plate down and looked over, it was Dr. Tuttle.
Oh,
And
good.
we've become really good friends. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to see him again too.
Yeah. Yes, BJ.
Hi, Dolly.
Hi, BJ.
It's so good to see you, and your energy and your joy and your passion is really wonderful. Um, I'm wondering, now that you're a documentary filmmaker, and have you felt that you have gotten to share it where you wanted to, like at your churches? Does it help to have this when you pass out your card? Can you tell us a little bit about how different you feel when you now that you have this documentary? How is it going for talking to people
Yeah.
going vegan?
Yeah. Well, the positivest thing is we took a tour. Dr. Rao and I took a tour in India, and we traveled all throughout India showing the film. So that was wonderful to college students, very educational. Right now, I know a lot of spiritual centers are using our film, yoga studios, PETA India is showing it to activists. So a lot of good things. And I always carry a card in my purse about our film and how to watch it. So if I'm at the grocery store and somebody's in the vegan section, I start chit-chatting. Oh, you're vegan? Da, da, da. And start talking. I'm like, give them my card. I'm like, please watch our film. Of course, BJ, I love to, show it in more Hindu temples. That, of course, is very difficult for me to even get into the Hindu temple, and they want to know. And when they find out, they don't want to, they don't want to watch it. So the Jain community, of course, is more open to it. But I'm praying that, it will trickle down to the Hindu temples as well. And of course, Maka Dud, you got to watch that. It's an amazing film. It, very educated. It put me to tears. So another good film also is Maka Dud, is a beautiful film.
PJ, you're muted again.
I'm just so happy for you and proud that you've done it. And I've been able to tell people about it that I have met. And so, yeah.
Thank you, BJ. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
We were talking yesterday about plans for a documentary that would fulfill a trilogy. I was suggesting that it makes a perfect trilogy, and of course, Dr. Rao is kind of at the center of everything as a producer in the vegan film space. But after we finished The Land of Ahimsa, we're thinking there's so much more content that we could put into a sequel. And then Maka Dude came out, and we went, that's it. That's the sequel.
Yeah. I mean, that is
so it's
amazing.
a great double feature.
And Ray, you were saying that in the movie, it could just be pieces can be taken out because we discussed so many things. It's a movie in itself, certain sections, the health, the planet.
Yeah, we've been talking about that. And the idea of a documentary itself, it's a lot of work. You spent several years putting these pieces together. And then you can take all these segments and they kind of work as little mini documentaries themselves. So then the big documentary gets smaller. But there's also an approach to just think documentary in the future, but right now just put the ideas into small videos and share them on the internet. The urgency is such that we should be, getting people on board right now. Every bit of information is important to get out there and become little tools. It's sometimes hard to get people to sit down in front of a documentary, especially because people know they're powerful.
Yeah.
Which is also another conversation about people wanting to make fiction, vegan characters in fiction, and stories that aren't overtly or immediately about veganism, but brings people there as they go seeking entertainment. Because sometimes people won't watch a documentary because it's informational and they're looking to be entertained. But so we've all these approaches. We need them all.
Yes, 100%.
So any more questions? Put up your hand. Put up the little icon hand if you got questions. Anya.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, Anya.
Okay, great. Yeah, Dolly and Ray, thank you so much for this wonderful have you had any luck with showing your beautiful film in schools? In schools or mainly in schools, I guess.
We
just
did we have in
teaching
India.
younger people, I guess my question.
Yeah, we have in India schools here. I mean, it's very hard. They want to first see the entire thing. And I live in Texas, you can imagine. So it's very hard. But at temples, you know, there's all ages. There's children also. So in the Jain community, we've had, you know, some success.
The compassion tour that Dolly spoke about in India, that was specifically targeting all the college institutions. So every city that they visited, they presented or showed the movie at close to about 20 higher education institutions all over India. And that was a huge hit because, like you said, you got to get to them at that college age where they're independent and free thinkers and can make choices for themselves.
Yeah. And, you know, I think even with our film, the youngsters could watch it. Grade school kids could watch it.
Yeah.
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 Yes.
Super. Great.
Thank you so much.
And we have to keep trying too, because sometimes you think that it's hard to get things into schools. You promote vegan ideas, and teachers are a little bit leery because they know that their kids are going to go home and may, you know, be affected by it.
Yeah.
And the parents come back to the school and say, "What are you teaching them?" I'll teach them what they're supposed to eat. I have
totally
two
hear that. And
primary school teachers as parents, so I know this.
That was actually part of my
Sorry, Anya, you're cutting out a little bit. You're frozen a bit, but keep trying.
Yeah. Oh,
you're back.
It's okay. It's okay. Oh, yeah, because it's so difficult to get into some. To turn my
You could try turning the video off, and maybe that'll make your signal more clear. More important to hear you. Good to see you're outside, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to go outside for a minute. So yeah. So I was just that was my motivation to ask the question, because I know it's so difficult to get into schools.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, everyone. Oh, I'm sorry, Anya. You keep cutting out, and I think I keep interrupting you, but we're at the top of the hour, and I see Dr. Ahuja is here. Thank you so much, Dolly. Thank you.
Thank you. Go vegan, vegan world.
In the early morning quiet, when the fields are breathing slow, there's a mother calling softly for the child she came to know. We took her milk, we took her baby, called it custom, called it need. But the earth remembers every bond we break to feed our greed. Bring the calves back to their mothers, bring the milk back to the young. Let no baby be taken before their life's begun. Bring them home to their mothers, let their bodies tell the truth. What was made for loving was never ours to use. She knows him by his breathing, by the sound beneath his cry, by the way the dawn is shining in his dark and liquid eyes. This is more than instinct speaking, more than nature's simple way. This is a love that crosses species, older than the word away. Bring the cows back to their mothers, let the circle still be whole. What is taken breaks the planet, what is love restores the soul. Bring them home to their mothers, let compassion be our guide. Every child beside their mother, every mother with her child. I have walked where moose give birth, where the cows lay down to calve. Placenta on the forest floor, a boundary sacred, raw and vast. I did not belong inside that circle, and she let me know it true. She ushered me back from the forest, from her home, where she belonged, not you. Bring the cows back to their mothers, honor where the birth blood lies. There are laws older than markets, written in the mother's eyes.
This last year, the krill fishery took 650,000 metric tons out of the Southern Ocean. And this is literally taking the food out of the mouths of whales and penguins, seabirds and seals. These species are being severely impacted by the greed of the krill fishery.
And out beyond the breaking waves, where the great blue mothers roam, there are calves beneath the surface, learning oceans as their home. We reach deep for a tiny body, scoop the krill from living seas. But that food was made for mothers and the young they hold and feed. Leave the krill for ocean mothers, leave the seas to feed their young. Let the whales and gentle giants raise their babies strong and sound. Bring them home to their mothers, land and ocean, hoof and fin. When we stop what's not ours to take, the healing can begin. We are waking from a long divided dream, where we fed on domination and called violence routine. Now a wider love is moving through our hands and what we choose. Every meal a sacred promise that no mother has to lose. Beloved, stand beside me with your feet upon the ground. Let our lives be living answers, let protection make it sound. This is how the world turns gentle, this is how the old ways end. When we choose the mother-child bond again and again and again. Bring the cows back to their mothers, let the mothers keep their...
It's a tiny bit less than 80 acres. I have Jersey cows, Holstein cows, a yak.
She estimates she's rescued about 158 cows.
And most cows don't get to live like this. It makes me happy.
Tack Ryder says she got to know cows working at a dairy farm in 1976.
The cows were just wonderful, and when they stopped making milk, they got slaughtered.
She decided to create the sanctuary after tragedy struck.
Huge storm, and I found all these dead cows in the field. The first cows I had were the 6 babies that survived the lightning storm.
She wrote a children's book about that experience, with proceeds benefiting the nonprofit, which she runs herself.
We feel entitled to artificially inseminate a cow, and when she gives birth, we steal her baby. Even though her cries of anguish are unmistakable,